Hey, so this is Dishant from Unica University Common Application. I recommend you to watch AAU television.
AAU TV is the place to be for every person in higher education in Africa. Better be there or be nowhere.
Continuez de regarder la télé et surtout sur le AAU.
Keep watching it and it will change the way you interact with higher education on the continent. AAU, great job.
I want to tell you that AAU television is fantastic, it's educative, it's informative, and it is a must for anybody who is interested in higher education in Africa.
When I was in Accra last year, I did an interview on this TV. It's a very important mouthpiece.
It's a data, it's a bank of all we need for the development of higher education in Africa.
People should make an effort to view it because it discusses very current issues of development across the continent.
I believe that the station will continue to promote the overall development of Africa, particularly in the tertiary education sector.
AAU TV provides a platform and shares a lot of information to a broader audience. So we wish you all the best and please continue serving
AAU TV,
the voice of higher education in Africa.
Hello viewers, I am your host Rita Kusi. Welcome to 30 Minutes with HR, the premier human resource show. 30 Minutes with HR is a partnership program between KUSI Consulting and the Association of African Universities. And today we have an exciting topic to discuss with you. We are talking staff development. And I'm actually on set with Genevieve Puny, who happens to be my HR bestie. So get ready for an exciting show.
Treat yourself to a serene, plush, and unique experience. Check in at the AH Hotel, East Legon, where every stay is unique.
Everybody wants to be the best at what they do for the people they're doing it for. That's why, after 13 years of providing you with top-notch healthcare nationwide, the market leader in the private health insurance industry is going the extra mile for you. Instead of hopping from pharmacy to pharmacy, now you get your prescription drugs delivered straight to your doorstep. We will restock your chronic medication on the regular, so you don't have to stress to keep track. We provide on-site clinics that offers you professional medical consultation from the comfort of your office. Enjoy these amazing benefits and so much more by signing on to Nationwide Medical Insurance today. Call us on 0800 222 222 or email us at info@nationwidemh.com. Nationwide, we go the extra mile so you don't have to. Join the healthcare family.
Welcome back, viewers. Today we are discussing staff development. I am here with Genevieve Puny, who is HR practitioner at RegTrain Services Limited. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Welcome on set again.
Thank you. It feels like yesterday.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know, because you were just here for the
last year.
Yeah, last year, but it was in studio.
Yeah.
And this time we are here at
my office.
RegTrain Services Limited office.
Yeah.
So good to be here.
Yes, good to have you guys around too. And thank you for granting me the opportunity.
No problem. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure. So let's get talking.
Yeah.
Staff development. What is that?
It's really about upskilling individuals, adding value to the individual, so that at the end of the day, with what they're doing with regards to work, they're able to perform the role effectively and productively. And really, that's what staff development is all about. It's an ongoing process. It starts from day one, right from onboarding, right up until, the person actually leaves the business, and continuously on a day-to-day basis. Informally, formally, you can be training people, mentoring them, coaching them, and that's all about staff developing. And the whole idea is just really to make sure that as far as competency is concerned, they are quite in tune with it and be able to perform the role that is expected of them effectively.
Okay.
So that's really what staff development is all about. It's not a one-stop thing. It's a continual process from the day one right up until they leave. Yeah.
I think a lot of employers actually tend to think you do it once. Like, yes, we've done training one time on a specific topic, and then that's it.
Not at all. Not at all. I think it's doing it is also coming back with practicing it and getting it right, making sure that if they're getting it right or they're not getting it right, somebody's there to watch over them to make sure that if we're not getting it right, this is how you're supposed to be doing it and stuff like that. So half of the time people go for training and they get trained internally and they don't really utilize it. But obviously the responsibility is also on the individual to make sure that whatever is being imparted on yourself and for your own self-development in line with also training and developing your role, you're also benefiting as much as you can. So yeah, it's not just a one-time thing at all.
It's interesting that you brought up the individual, right? Because when we talk about staff development, does the responsibility fall solely on the employer, or should the employees also play a role?
Yeah, I think the employee should take should also take the responsibility as well, because it's a two-way street. At the end of the day, you are upskilling yourself. At the end of the day, you are adding value to yourself. So day in and day out, it is also the responsibility of yourself. And it doesn't have to be at the job place. Okay. You can upskill, you can learn different things, you can read. Knowledge is power. Nowadays, if you don't read, you're way behind. So it's not only the sole responsibility of the individual. In actual fact, in the recruitment processes, sometimes clients also look out for people who are very innovative, creative, and you're developing yourself. I mean, what a better way. Yeah. What a better way to come into a new role with an amazing skill set that you have already, which the client will be able to take advantage of as far as obviously performing your role. And in that, you would actually be able to settle into the role quite smoothly because you've got that added skill that you're bringing on board. So it's a two-way street off work and on the job as well, as far as the role is concerned, or the individual is concerned. Half of the time people tend to think, oh yeah, I need training here, I need training here, I need training. My company is never taking me for training, they're not giving me training opportunities and stuff. But what are you doing as an individual? Yes, to also try and upskill yourself individually, so that at least you stand a greater chance over the others in terms of whether it comes to promotion, whether it comes to teaching somebody, whether it comes to impacting knowledge and all the other things. So it is, the responsibility comes from both angles, not just from the client's perspective or the employer's perspective, if you want to.
That's excellent. Yeah, I think it's really important, right? Because a lot of people, employers sometimes, they may not understand when you need training, or maybe you might want to learn something different on the job. They may not be the one to, let's use this for an example. Let's say a role has come up within your organization. You work in a specific department, right? But the role is in another department. You're looking to transition into that department. Wouldn't the best thing to do is equip yourself professionally and make sure that you at least you can go and present yourself.
Definitely. I think it's very important. Yes, definitely. It's very important because one, the company saves anyway, because obviously if you're transitioning into that particular role, it's almost as if you could also then double up and do it initially to make sure that you've actually transitioned into that role properly before they can even look at whether replacing your one and not replacing. And I'll use myself as an example. Throughout my career, there was an opportunity where that is how I actually landed in HR.
In HR,
because
yes.
I was seconding.
I remember the story.
Yes, I was
Yes.
seconding from reservations all the way to HR. So I was spending part of my time in reservations and part of my time in HR, and eventually I transitioned into HR. So it's very important that as an individual, if there is an opportunity where within the business you feel that your skill set can be impactful in that way, and that is the area as far as your career path is concerned, then of course you have to put in the application if the opportunity is opened internally, and then give yourself the best shot, because sometimes that is the only way you can get back onto the right track as far as your career is concerned.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I hope you're enjoying this conversation. A lot of great nuggets to take away with you, all right? So now, you know, some employers tend to think staff development, they see it as a burden, right? Because they may not have the budget for it, or they just may not see it as important. So then they see hiring more experienced personnel as a means to overcome that. So let's talk a bit about what developing your staff, what effects it has on the organization, whether negative or positive. What effect does it have on promotions? What effect does it have on turnover? And what effect does it have on the organization's bottom line?
Right. I think as far as, staff development is concerned, when you talk about employee relations, for example, it definitely reduces turnover because people like to learn different things. Technology nowadays, we all know how AI is taking everything over the place.
Yes, it is.
So if you add value to yourself, and you've been given the opportunity to perform extra roles and all the other things, you won't be inclined to leave, so to speak, immediately. So that way, by upskilling the person or even giving them some sort of training opportunity and adding value to themselves, the potential of them leaving immediately is very low, which obviously, as a result of that, you have a very low turnover. When you think of promotions, I mean, what a better way. Internally, you're not going to spend money on recruiting, you're not going to spend money on using agencies, or even indirectly, the cost of actually recruiting the whole process.
Exactly.
You have somebody internally who can easily transition because they understand your culture, they understand how businesses are run, they understand the operations of the business and stuff like that. So it also helps as far as promoting. And in actual fact, some people go through these training sessions with the intention to get promoted.
Exactly.
Which is also a benefit to the business because, again, you save cost. You don't have to train the person on anything as far as the role responsibility is concerned. So it does benefit in a good way to the company. And yes, companies do see it as time consuming and time wasting, but it's not, because eventually it would benefit the person and it will benefit the business because it saves time, it saves cost, resources are saved. And sometimes, even when the person has been trained to that level, assuming somebody goes on holiday, the person can go and cover it.
Exactly.
It saves you cost from bringing somebody else in. As long as it's planned in advance and as long as the person can split their time between their main role and this particular role, then you save the cost.
Wow. So if you are an employer watching this episode and you're trying to find ways to, save money, or you think maybe you cut cost by not training your staff, there's obviously no way around it, right? You have to face it, and in most cases it saves you money.
And there are various ways you can learn.
It's cost effective.
There are various ways you can train people.
Exactly.
It's not always about cost.
Exactly.
People can mentor people, people can coach, people can second on businesses at work. They could study stuff online, especially now with technology. Reading. And that's the only way that they can also upskill themselves. So, yeah, sometimes they look at it from the cost point of view, but there